Hello everyone, welcome back. Luca DeStasio here with Revere Real Estate. So recently we received a bunch of messages regarding home building, so we figured we'd sit down with Nick to answer some of your questions.
Absolutely. First and foremost, thank you so much for asking the questions, participating as an audience member, and of course, as we always say, our primary focus on this platform, in addition to others, is really to just be as valuable and to be a resource for you as much as we can. So absolutely, let's jump into it.
Let's get to it. First question, are you selling homes before the project starts, during construction, or after completion?
So on that question, it's a three-part. So when the project starts, during construction, or after completion. So we've sold actually in all three situations. So sometimes the situation will present itself where we'll have a project and we sell it off RTI, which is a jargon used in development for ready to issue permits. It's an acronym that says that this project has gone from land all the way through design engineering, blueprints, city permit approvals, and now it's ready to be shovel in the ground. So we have sold a project, one in Huntington on Delaware Street. We sold a 2-house plan with blueprints, and we had not actually built it out. So now in construction, we have also pre-sold multiple residences. So a couple of in Huntington, actually 4 in Huntington, two in Hermosa Beach, and they were pre-sales. So what they were was that in the middle of construction, or once we're finished wrapping the exterior and completing the inside drywall, coming in for finishes, we've had clients come in, purchase the home, extend the escrow to certificate of occupancy, and then in the middle have a very creative, contingency earnest money deposit schedule so that we can keep them accountable. But having said that, we've done the pre-sale, and then we've also sold properties at completion. So yeah, I think really where it comes down to is whether the situation warrants itself. Sometimes we like to give ourselves options to either sell it early or even just market it for sale. And if we don't get any bites, then just continue the project like normal. So it just gives us, some flexibility. I think the biggest reason we go toward that is one of two things: mitigating risk. If we could pre-sell a property and get a client or an end user or a homeowner into the project and purchase the house, it gives us confidence on mitigating risk with the lenders. And then moreover, at the end of the day, if there's flexibility and there's compensation without lifting a hammer, somebody's interested in coming in and buying it, that's always a great scenario too. And it frees up a lot of liquidity. So anytime you're investing in real estate projects and you're contributing a lot of funds, so it also, if you're doing it early and you get it sold, you're freeing up capital for elsewhere.
I think that answers our question.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to question 2. What drives the build location? Is it brokers' deals available? Is it client requests?
So it's a great question. Unfortunately, most of the deals we've actually found ourselves. So brokers, if you have any deals that are good and that haven't been sifted through, send them over. But for the most part, we're finding deals ourselves. I would say the only thing that I would say on that is what drives the build location is that we're aimed to continue, and we've said it on the channel a lot, we're aimed to continue to remain coastal. I think that coastal real estate, residential real estate, is very inelastic. It's a lot less volatile than inland properties. And I think as a result, it's a lot more insulated with respect to market volatility. And at the end of the day, one of our dear friends and brokers down in Southern Orange County likes to say, people are trading at the beach. So we are going to be selling property by the beach regardless of market conditions. So to summarize that in a sentence, the build location being coastal is really our main criteria.
Location, location, location.
That's right.
Question 3. Who chooses spec level of cabinets, counters, etc.?
It really just depends on the project. We go back. I would reverse engineer the accounting. If we budgeted in our project and by the time we get to the kitchen countertops and we're going a little bit over a budget, in previous scopes, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, framing, foundation, etc., then we'll probably try to save a little bit on that. So it's really reverse engineering based off where we're tracking on the budget to date, and then also we do try to find as high end of a material at a reasonable cost, and then what we do is we then template that and oftentimes look for that same material in future work. But that's really where it comes from.
Question 4. What are some main points that keep reoccurring? Some main pain points that keep reoccurring?
Slow consultant work to get deliverables, to get blueprints, construction documents, field plans, you name it, or whatever you like to name blueprints. The pain point we keep getting is consultants delaying in sending over their deliverables, and as a result, we're continuing to have to hold the property longer in pre-construction, and we're not yet building.
Piggybacking off that, are there any outside trades communication issues?
No, essentially it's just coordinating multiple parties at the same time. I think we run pretty effectively and efficiently with, multiple group email threads where multiple consultants from different firms are all on the same. I think it's really just a lot of people are busy, a lot of consultants are busy right now, and we oftentimes pay a lot of attention to what their contracted price is, and if we're getting 3 bids and we get the cheapest price, they may not deliver the fastest service. And so what we're really starting to do, and I think what's most relevant about this topic, is try to find that efficiency frontier of price for a consultant relative to timeline for deliverables. Because if we're spending a little bit more on the consultant, but that delta on the dollars additionally spent, if that's less than our monthly holding costs, and the former consultant that's cheaper or costing more takes an extra month, then it's sort of a wash. So you might as well go with the better trade.
Question 5. Do you ever get buyers that want to change materials that are typically not up for change? Roofing materials, waterproofing material, stucco finish type, quality of window, etc.?
So buyers do love to change materials. Whenever we pre-sale, that's something that we have to be extremely mindful of. I think the way that I would like to answer this question is, first and foremost, you're setting the proper expectations with the client from the beginning. So when you sit down, before they sign on buying the home, I'm addressing, this is the budget, this is what's remaining, these are the purchases we've already met, we can make adjustments, these are the areas we can, these are the areas we can't. One of the examples was windows. That's a prime example of something we can't change, because for the most part, windows are going in during the rough phase before we wrap the exterior, put insulation and drywall and waterproof so that we can do the inside work, and that's very early on in the scope, and moreover they have really long lead times. So tile, countertops can be picked, fixtures, etc. But for the most part, the most important thing is to set the proper expectation with the homeowner, with the client at the very beginning.
Next question. What is a builder final punch, and what does the process look like?
So a builder's final punch, I'm assuming it's the builder's final punch list. So it's a final punch list, final walkthrough, where you're going through with the little pieces of tape, and you're going around the property, and you're looking, especially inside, you're looking at drywall dings, any areas of poor, millwork or woodworking or trim work, any last remaining items that that's on back order from a manufacturer or vendor, and then exterior, same thing, looking at any finishes or if there's any paint touch-ups or things like that. So the second part of that question is what that process looks like. Essentially, you're just grabbing the homeowner, because for the most part, this is through the lens of having a homeowner on the project. If it's just us, it's just myself and the project manager, or for the most part, project managers do a phenomenal job. They can run it themselves, and they do, and they take a lot of pride and ownership in the projects that they're building. So it's just a walkthrough, just a final punch list walkthrough.
Next question. What is a typical warranty on a purchased home? And have you experienced any leaking issues with all the recent rain here in Southern California?
So as a general contractor, we have an SB 800, which is the builder's warranty. It's a 1-year fit and finish warranty, and it's a 10-year general warranty. That is something that we do offer to every homeowner. I mean, it's a new construction home. They're paying a lot of money. It's very, very important that they know that if something happens after they, wire over the money, that, we're going to take care of them. So we absolutely have that conversation. We absolutely explain the warranty. And then we have had issues in the past, even of late, with leaking. But, fortunately, nothing major. It's really just, couple hour touch up, with one of our guys. But yeah, we absolutely make sure we take care of them, especially after the fact, because they can also be a great center of influence in the community as far as people that are sharing with their loved ones, family, friends, how beautiful their home is and who built it, and that can go a long way, I think, in penetrating the market of any particular neighborhood that we've already built and sold off.
Well, speaking of touch-ups, from your past projects, has Revere had any complimentary touch-ups after move-in or at the end of the year pertaining to?
Yeah. They're all complimentary. So every single time we go over there, we're not charging them. I mean, for the most part, if there's any sort of patchwork or, sometimes what happens is when you have new framing, and not a lot of people know this, but when you frame a new property, especially that has multiple stories, there is settling that occurs. The lumber settles, and so there can be some surface stucco cracks if there's not enough expansion joints. But yeah, all of that, everything that we do when we go back to the site is all complimentary.
Next question. Any tech or automation you'd like to see in the process to help builders like yourself?
It's an interesting, especially now in today's age more than ever. I would answer the question like this. So we've started incorporating some new software, Monday.com, and also Wave, which is an online platform for accounting. We're also looking at Procore for a lot of the budgeting stuff. Those are computer software programs that really make our jobs a lot easier, especially the Monday.com implementation that we put in, which is really just like in real time, all of the different subcontractors, all the different scopes of work. It shows timelines, it has an area for notes, it has an area for the contact for that particular scope. And there's really a lot to be said about making sure that we're running efficiently, and really the only way is through these new software programs. So that's been very, very helpful. I'm not sure how we did it, 40 years ago, but now we're, I'm on my phone seeing project updates, on the Monday.com app. So, been helpful.
Last question. What do you like most about Luca?
Luca is a very nice individual. He's a good, hardworking young man who's determined to better those around him and become better as a result.
Well, Nick, appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
And we hope we answered some of your questions.
Absolutely. All the best.